What's going on, y'all? This is George RC out here, and I got my Kyosho Inferno. It used to be a GT2, so it was the long wheelbase chassis, but it's actually now a shorter wheelbase chassis. I converted it. I believe it is the Kyosho MP77 chassis. I'll correct that if I'm wrong. I'll have to go back and make sure that that was the chassis that I ended up converting it with. So let's go ahead and check it out. So if you guys have seen a couple of my videos, you'll probably seen this one pop out in a few videos here and there, but I've never really done a walk around of what all is done to the car. So let's start from the front. I do have a Castle XLX ESC, so definitely a 1/5 scale ESC, and a TP kill mode motor. I will not go into details with my gearing, but you know, if you do enough testing, you could definitely set up your car depending on your testing and what motor you run. You could look at your mile per hour, and you can data log your ESCs if you do Castle. I'm personally a fan of Castle ESCs because you can always plug them up and then look at your data. Hobby Wing, a lot of people do like using Hobby Wing. I personally haven't found my way around it to where I could get the power out of them, but I know a few people do have very good success with them. I just had better luck with Castle, so I stick with Castle. Now this car is a heavy car. I haven't weighted it yet, but I am running two 3-cell lipos, 8,000 milliamps. So it's kind of worn out now, but it does say that they're 3S is 11.1 volts. So no, this car is not a 8-cell car. I've always ran 6S on it. Maybe one day I'll run it on 8S, but I don't know. I'm kind of afraid of it, so we'll see. Obviously I have my kill mode capacitor pack. It is a big capacitor pack. That's I have it just zip tied off to the side. Now my chassis braces are King Heads. That is the company that makes them. Let me see if I can zoom in here. So the original ones come with plastic. These are obviously I think it's CNC machined aluminum. So they're much more durable. It helps with the chassis flex. So I definitely have one in the front, and I have one in the rear, which you can't really see too much, but you can kind of see it there. Now my receiver box on the Kyosho, if you're familiar with the Kyosho, they are all in one piece right here, right next to your servo or servo mount. Well, I cut it off, and I actually kind of grinded it down to make it a nice clean cut. And I made my own custom mount for on top of the center diff, and I screwed on my receiver box on the rear of it. So it's kind of nice, you know. It keeps the wiring nice and simple all around the ESC and straight to the back rather than going off to the side over there. And the reason that I did that is because I have these EMP battery trays. Let's see if you can see the EMP. Well, it's backwards, but or upside down. So obviously when I put the battery tray, I had to modify it, and then my receiver box wasn't able to fit there. So that's the only solution I could come up with. And I am running the stock motor mount, so it is not anything aftermarket. And shocks are all stock springs off of the GT2. So stock springs, stock shocks, stock diffs. I am running a spool, so I could get in there. If you could kind of see it there. Yeah, I'm running a spool. I did not buy it. I actually made it myself. I used the Kyosho GT2 Nitro shaft because they come with a 2-speed, so they have a long shaft, and I believe it is a 6mm shaft diameter wise. And so I just grinded it down and created my own flat spots for the center diff or center spool. Now in the rear, I do have a 12-inch wheelie bar. Now this wheelie bar, I actually bought it from Nick Steele. If you don't know who Nick Steele is, definitely check him out. He's on Facebook a lot, and he does a lot of drag racing. So he sells these a lot. Sells these as well as a lot of other custom parts, full carbon fiber chassis, conversion kits. I'm pretty sure, if I recall, he actually made a limitless / infraction conversion chassis for the Hobayo Hyper GT or Hyper VT, something like that, you know. But so he does a lot of custom stuff. So definitely check him out. Really cool dude. So he definitely hooked me up with the wheelie bars. Any of my cars that you see that have a wheelie bar, they're wheelie bars from him. Now here on my chassis, this is a relatively new chassis. It is a 775 T6 aluminum. So it is definitely much much stronger than the original one. And I forgot who makes it. E-Racing Pro. I bought it off on eBay. Now the chassis alone was about somewhere around $80. So obviously, you know, they're not too cheap, but it is definitely much more durable and higher quality material, which you definitely want. So whenever you adjust your droop screws, it doesn't wear into them. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna get this bad boy hooked up and do a couple test passes. If you know me for a while, then you definitely have seen this body out before. This is my old Subaru body, old school. I've owned this body for probably about 4 years now. I obviously did cut out the rear bumper, and yes, these are LED lights. They are fully wired, front and rear. There's a lot of rubber in here. Back in the day, 3-4 years ago, I used to do just burnouts. I used to go out to events and swap meets and whatnot, and I would just light up the tires. So yeah, I got a lot of rubber in here. But yep, so I'm gonna get this bad boy back up or hooked up, and we're going to do some test passes and see what it does. All right, guys, so I got my batteries plugged in, of course running 6S. Let's see how straight this goes. All right, I'm just gonna count to 3. 1, 2, 3. And no, that was a hard right. Let's go ahead and bring it back in. Oh man, some guy just showed up. He got his 18-wheeler and he just turned on over there. Don't make me get on out of here, go to a different spot. Let's try that again. Sorry for all the noise, guys. I did not know he was going to turn on his 18-wheeler, so let's see. All right. Much better. Slow down. There's a lot of pollen out here, and of course I didn't dust it off, or I didn't blow them off. I don't have my leaf blower with me. Let's see. Go ahead and bring it in. I'm gonna see if I can do one more. Go ahead and flip it around. Alright. Sorry guys, I'm trying to do this one hand. So let's see. Let's do one more. See if we can get a straight launch again. Oh yeah, it's definitely not getting better than that. That was perfect. Alright, go ahead and bring it back in, guys. Alright. Sweet. Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, that concludes the short video for this one. I just wanted to show it to you guys. And again, I'm sorry about all the noise. Hopefully it's not too loud and you guys can definitely hear me. Hope so. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more videos.